How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Transport Fever 2, and welcome back to Ealing. Things are going pretty well here at the moment. This place has demand for food, construction materials, goods, and fuel. The population is currently 890 and is projected to get up to 999. And what's more is this place is about to be the center of industry for this new passenger train line that we built in the last episode. And I say that because I didn't quite pay attention to just how many things could be built around Ealing. Now, for example, we have a goods factory right here. It will take plastic, it will take steel, it'll pump out goods. Up here by Askern, whatever, we have another one. We could use plastic and planks if we wanted to make goods as well. And then down by Blackburn, we have another setup just like that. We could use plastic and planks to make goods. Now, what I'm thinking I want to do is I want to try and set up some goods production so that we can supply pretty much all of these towns with goods. And it's fortunate then that we have the option to have Swanley Forest provide logs to Blackburn sawmill, which can then take those planks, provide them to the goods factory, and then sort of go in that little loop right there. So that's step one. That's step one of goods production in Blackburn. But we do need plastic as well, and the question becomes, where are we going to get that? Well, what I'm thinking I could do is potentially go ahead and take grain from Blackburn Farm and bring it up to Erith Chemical Plant, and then have those same trucks bring that plastic back to Blackburn Goods Factory. The only issue is it's a 2-to-1 ratio. The trucks are not going to be full coming back, which I don't love. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I think that's going to be okay, at least for the time being. So let's go ahead and set up some industry. Basically, that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of the point I've gotten to. We're going to go ahead and set up some industry. It's going to be a grand old time, and we're going to see what exactly we can do. Now, what I think I'll start by doing is just bringing this road over. I think we'll connect it sort of down there, although I would like it to sort of have a nicer connection. So maybe we do bring it over and sort of around like this, just because I can. Just because it looks a little bit better. So that's going to be logs to sawmill to here. And then what we want to do is grain from here going all the way through to there. Now, there's a couple of ways we could do this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of bring this road over. So this is a little bit of a quicker way for vehicles to get out of here. And we'll go ahead and connect it right about there. So that'll give us a bit of a straight shot from this farm through Ealing. I'm thinking we should go around the town as well. I don't think we need to go straight through it. So we'll continue this this country road sort of off of about there. And then we'll just gradually sort of bring it around something like this. I don't love that it's cutting away the terrain, but honestly, at this point, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. And I think what we can do, honestly, is just bring this guy sort of over like this. I'm not super concerned with the connection, you know, being anything other than just sort of straight to the point. So we'll do this kind of thing. We can go ahead and smooth out all that terrain as well. So a nice big brush, a nice strong brush, and a nice circular brush as well. And we'll just hit this a little bit so it's a little bit less rough looking. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just something a little better than what we have right there. And so that'll give us a shot from here to this chemical factory. The trucks can pick up the plastic, bring it all the way back, drop it off here, and then sort of repeat the process. So what we're going to need to do is very simply go ahead and get ourselves a bunch of truck stops. So we'll go to buildings, we'll go to truck station, and we'll figure out what we need. So step one is picking up a whole bunch of logs. So we'll go for, honestly, we'll just do 2 platforms, one on either side because we can. And I'm going to try and get this guy sort of as far-ish away from that forest as I can manage, which is looking like it's going to be right about there, which is totally fine by me. So right about there for the logs, those are going to come around and get dropped off over here. Now, again, what I kind of like to do here is try and get this to be as good as I can. So if I put this thing sort of there, it's too far away. If I put it there, though, that's a little bit better. So we'll go ahead and build this guy. I'm going to say right about there. I think it's fine. And then for the grain, kind of a similar story. We'll go ahead and just sort of drop it somewhere along this road. I'm thinking right about there should be fine. So go ahead and place it there. When it comes to the chemicals, I'm not super worried about this one. I think it can just sort of live down here a little bit, and that should be just fine. So right there in the middle of the forest. And then the drop off is going to be, so we pick up the plastic, we want to bring it back, we want to drop it over here. So this guy is going to have a couple of different drop offs. It's going to need 2 drop offs and a pickup. So what we'll do is honestly just 4 platforms. We'll do the 4 platforms because I can. And we'll go ahead and just put it right across the road, right about there. Now, I think that's everything. I think that's everything we're going to need. So now what we need to do is create a bunch of new lines. And we're going to go from here, picking up logs. We're going to go to here, and we're going to go to here. And for the most part, that works out okay. It could be a little bit better, but not the end of the world, I suppose. And we'll go ahead and rename this to RC for road cargo. This is Blackburn, and this is, I guess we'll just call it planks production for now is what we'll go for on that one. And then color wise on this guy, let's go for, oh, I don't know. Let's go for that really dark kind of blue right there. And that should be just fine. So what we want to do with this is say that I guess use either platform. And honestly, just drop things off at any platform right there as well. In terms of cargo, we want to make sure you are loading up on logs. In Upper Blackburn, you are unloading logs and loading up on planks. And here you are unloading planks, just so everything is nice and straightforward. So that's production line number 1. Number 2 is the grain to plastic to goods thing. So we'll go to new line. We want to pick up the grain. We want to take it over and drop it off, picking up some plastic. And then we want to bring that right back to here and sort of go around repeating that cycle. So step number 1 is load up on grain. Step number 2 is unload the grain, pick up the plastic. And step number 3 is go ahead and unload the plastic. We'll get this guy colored the same way as the other one, that nice dark blue right there, road cargo. It is Blackburn. And this is, I guess, plastic production. I guess technically it's more goods production at the end of the day. I might be slightly wrong on that, but we'll say plastic production for now, just so it's kind of nicely together. And then I suppose what we can do is just start delivering goods into Blackburn itself. That'll be sort of our first little delivery route for all of this. Now, it's this little cluster in the middle of Blackburn that happens to want goods. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop them right about, I'm going to say there, sort of off the main street, I think is the place to do it. So what we'll do is go ahead and sort out this line so it can use all of the platforms as per usual so that things don't get too crazy. And then what we can do is new line from here going to there. And we'll go ahead and say that the only thing you're doing is loading up on goods, which are right about there. And we'll go ahead and rename this guy as well. So road cargo, Blackburn, and this is, I guess, goods delivery. And that should be just fine. So now we can get some vehicles, we can throw them in there, we can get this moving, and we can eventually start moving goods to Swanley, over to Ealing, over to Erith, and over to Penrith as well. Now my thinking is that this is sort of step 1, right? This is production site number 1 for goods. If I can level all this up and get it to be nicely, super efficient, we're going to be in a good place. We're going to be in a very good place. But I want to do the same thing with this factory and this factory because I want to make sure these towns have everything that they want. And what's more, Morton and Marsh and Shildon both want goods as well. So we could have some fun with that and get some goods out to those guys. They also all want construction materials, which is interesting. There's a quarry right there and a construction materials plant right there. So if we wanted to, we could set up a little something right about there. But we'll leave that for now. What I'm going to do is very simply go and say, so logs to planks and drop off. So can I get a truck that will do logs and planks? I absolutely can. So give me 10 of these guys. We'll go ahead and paint them up in sort of a brownish color, I guess. Maybe something more like that one. And we'll go ahead and say that you are planks production. So they can go and do their thing. The next one is grain to plastic. So that's probably going to be a tarpaulin truck, I would imagine. It absolutely is. So we'll go ahead and get 10 of those guys as well. and it's grain to plastic. Let's just do this color because it's a little bit more interesting. And that is going to be Blackburn plastic production right about there. And then goods delivery is the last one. So give me, I guess, 5 of these guys. We'll go ahead and paint them up in, I'm going to say that color, and we'll go ahead and put that on Blackburn goods delivery. So with that all done, we've got some trucks heading out, which is beautiful news. We are going to have to mess with ratios a little bit just to make things the way we want them to be, but we can 100% do that. So looking at this, it's 2-to-1 on logs to planks. So that's going to be a little bit of a pain, but that's whatever. I think it's also 2-to-1 on this, which is fine. So we can actually, we can have a little bit of fun here. We're going to want these guys to have similar rates. So you right now have a rate of 141. You right now have a rate of 55. So let me manage these vehicles. Give me one more. So we'll go ahead and duplicate and give me 11 on the planks production line once the game's done auto-saving, of course. But if that gives me 11, is that going to push me to roughly 155? That's okay. Okay, I can deal with that. What's the production on the forest? 600. What's the production on you? 300. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Duplicate all of these. And that's going to give me a rate of, what, 310? Yeah. So 310. Sell one of them. And that gives me 296. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. 296 means that we are at about half the capacity of that forest, which is fine. If I go to these guys and I duplicate, we can basically bring this up to roughly 296. And that's going to mean that these guys are, you know, nicely balanced against each other. It is going to mean 40 vehicles on this particular line, which I don't love. I'm not a huge fan of having 40 vehicles in this line. It might actually end up being closer to 50, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and do another 5 just so we can see what exactly the rate is going to be. And that gives us 247. It is going to be closer to 50, isn't it? It's in fact probably going to be about no, not exactly 50. That's interesting. Okay, give me 2 more. I'm thinking 52 vehicles to get this up to 296, 285. You've got to be kidding me. Give me 1 more, 53, 290, 54. It's got to be 54 vehicles then. 296. There we go. So they're nicely balanced against each other now. That means that basically we should have 150-ish, just shy of 150 planks coming in here and plastic coming in here as well. So that's going to work out really nicely. That means that the production on this guy should end up being around 150, meaning that the goods delivery line having a rate of 93 is going to give us some excess goods at some point. But for now, I'm okay with that. For now, that's totally fine. So while that's going ahead, I want to go ahead and look at Ealing, and I want to see if we can get this guy moving a little bit. So we're going to need steel. We're going to need plastic. We can get plastic from right about here, but I'm suddenly thinking that this guy, I mean, it's not going to get maxed out. So I'm tempted to use this one, but when I have other options, I feel like I might as well use these chemical plants up here just because I can. And kind of similarly, you know, I could go ahead and take maybe, I don't know, planks from here. Maybe we use this factory instead. That might be a little bit better. Because when it comes to steel production, I mean, we have some iron ore right here, but there's not really any coal. I mean, there's coal over here. And honestly, those are probably about the same distance from this particular steel mill. That would also give me slag, which could be used for some brick production up here. Oh God. Oh yeah, we're using this. We're 100. I was gonna use this factory, but I think the slag from this used to make bricks is gonna be so good. So I guess that's what we're doing. That answers that question. I was having some doubts, but all of a sudden I'm thinking that yeah, I'm thinking I know what I'm doing here. Okay, this is gonna be good. I also don't know why I upgraded that road, because when it comes down to it, the thing that I really want to do is just connect these guys together, and then I guess sort of connect some little road through here as well. We'll bring this one back, and I guess we'll sort of bring a road kind of around here. So something a bit like that and something a bit like that. We can go ahead and upgrade these guys so that they're all, you know, a bit nicer. We can go ahead and connect these guys together so that it's, you know, not cut off completely. But basically what I want to do here is just get this upgraded, get all of this upgraded, get this upgraded. And so that's a nice straight shot for the iron. And then when it comes to, I've just realized I can make alcohol here as well. Is there anywhere I can make food with alcohol nearby? You know what? No, I'm not going to get sidetracked. It's going to be important to keep that in mind, perhaps, but I'm not getting sidetracked right now. There's time for booze a little bit later on. We'll get these guys connected together. We've got the coal out there. So what we'll do is sort of bring this, I think bring this guy up to like there. So it sort of cuts straight through. And that should be fine. I mean, I could do something similar here as well if I wanted to, which honestly, I might as well do some extra little bits of road there so the trucks can sort of cut straight through. It's not ideal they're going through the town, but they'll live. They'll be all right. I'm also thinking, honestly, let's just sort of disconnect this and let's get a straight shot sort of down to there. So something about there, bring this guy out and up to about there. And that's a little better looking. This is a nasty section of road. I don't love it. I don't need it to be nice looking, but I want it to be nice looking. That's kind of my thing. It's, you know, trying to make this look a little bit less terrible. So there we go. That's not really any better, but it'll do. It's good enough. It does what it needs to do. I'm not gonna obsess over this. So when it comes down to it, it's another very, very simple setup right here. We want to go ahead and pick up some iron. We want to pick up some coal, drop it off right about here. So we'll go to buildings and honestly, we'll just do another 4-platform truck stop, I guess, right in front of the factory. So right about there, we'll do 2 platforms down by this guy. And we can do 2 platforms up by the coal one as well, which is actually going to give me a decent bit of range. Good Lord, I can get pretty far away from that thing. That's kind of cool. I like that. It's going to live right about there. So that's going to pick up the coal. It's going to get dropped off down here. This is going to be the pickup for the iron, which gets dropped off right about there. And then the steel is going to go, I guess, up to or down to here. Now that steel can also be used for tools, which is not a terrible idea, but the main thing is the is going to be the goods right there. And then obviously the slag can go to construction material, which we'll do shortly. In fact, you know what? We're going to be having a single line going back and forth here. Let's do a truck stop, I guess. Honestly, give me a bunch of platforms because there's a good chance that we're going to have a lot of trucks coming and going here. So do that right about there. It's not ideal, but it'll do. And so that's going to be pick up the slag, drop it off there, take the construction material to wherever it's needed. Now I just need to figure out where we're getting grain for the plastic, because I didn't really think that part through. I mean, when it comes down to it, we do have Helston Farm. We don't really have anywhere much closer, which is kind of unfortunate. I was hoping there'd be somewhere a bit closer. There is Blackburn Farm. That's Blackburn Farm 2 as well. We have got a farm in Swanley. That seems a little bit far away. I think Helston might be the closest one. And even that's a bit of a distance, but I think it's going to be the closest one. So Helston Farm, let's go and I guess just change up some of these roads to make it a little bit less terrible looking. So take out all of those guys. We'll go to streets and we'll very quickly go around and just upgrade a bunch of these roads. Alrighty, so all of the lines are now done. We have absolutely everything that we're going to be needing in terms of lines. We just don't have the vehicles. So the next step in this process is going to be to go ahead and get ourselves a road depot. We'll go ahead and put one in Ealing here. And whereabouts is my industry? So it looks like it's all up here. So what I think I'll do is go ahead and put the road depot maybe just sort of back here, just slightly out of the way on its own little road right about there. And what I'm thinking we can go ahead and do is try our best to optimize this. So using a tipper truck for the iron and the coal seems like it would be a good idea. We can use it for slag as well, which is very exciting. So what we'll do is go ahead and just get 10 of these for now. We'll go ahead and paint these guys up in, I'm going to say sort of that color right there. And this is going to be the iron one. Now, I don't remember which I'm looking for exactly. I don't know exactly what I called it. I think Hezwall is what we went for. So iron to steel and slag on that one. And then we'll go for the coal one. So these guys, we'll go ahead and get another 10 of them right about there and go ahead and paint those up in sort of a much darker color and go ahead and put those on. I think it was Morton is what we're looking for here. Yeah, coal to steel and slag right about there. So we should see some iron. We should see some coal getting started and we can go ahead and get some steel moving out here as well. Now, the steel can go on a truck with side stakes. We'll go ahead and get 5 of these guys for now, and we'll get them painted up in a much brighter color. So something just like that. And this is going to be... Oh God, which line am I looking for here? That's the real question. I, for the life of me, don't know. It's that, I think it's that pink one. I really don't know. Let me see which lines I can see. Steel to goods is what I'm looking for right there. So you guys need to go on road cargo, Askern steel to goods. So that's that all sorted out. So that's the steel production. That's that bit done. I don't remember what these lines are. So that's Helston and Heswall is what we're looking for. So that's going to be grain to plastic and then plastic to goods. So in terms of vehicles, we can throw some grain in the back of this guy. Give me 10 of those. Let's get them painted up in, I'm going to say this color. And we'll go ahead and put those on the, which one was it? Heswall or something like that. Helston grain to plastic. So those are heading out. And then the other one was plastic to goods, I think. I want to say that's what it was. So we'll go ahead and buy some vehicles and the plastic has to go in a tarpaulin truck. We'll go ahead and get, I guess, 10 of those once the autosave is done. And I mean, plastic is usually kind of a light kind of purpley color. So paint them up like that. And we're looking for, is this guy right about there. So plastic to goods. So that'll keep us good. And then the last thing I think we need to do is get some trucks to bring the goods into Ealing itself. So go ahead and buy those. We'll get them painted up in sort of that yellow color because that's the color of the line. And this is very simply going to be goods delivery to Ealing. So everything should now be working. It's just going to be a matter of time. This farm is very far away and we have to remember ratios as well. So if we go and have a look at this guy's producing, you know, 300. The shipment here is a rate of 66. So I think honestly what I'm going to do is pin this, manage the vehicles, duplicate the vehicles. That should give us 132, roughly 133. That's fine. Duplicate that again. It's not going to be 300, but honestly, I'm kind of okay with that. 40 vehicles in this line gives us 265. That is totally fine. So that's going to be 265. Let's say 260. So 130 based on our ratio of 2 grain to 1 plastic. So we should have 130 plastic production. So this guy needs a rate of 130. So we'll pin you, manage vehicles, give me 3 more, I'm going to say. Gives me 131. That's absolutely perfect. So that's what we're looking for there. So 131, 265, that's fine. So we'll have about 131 plastic coming down to here, which means the steel to goods needs to be 120, which is fine. We can go ahead and manage those vehicles. Give me 1 more. That's going to be probably 144. Yeah, that's fine. A little bit higher, but not the end of the world. And we have to remember the ratio here as well. So 144 is the steel delivery, which means that the rate of, I guess, the coal and the iron needs to be 288. So let's go and take a look here. So iron to steel to slag. This guy basically manage vehicles, duplicate all of them, and that's going to give us 240-ish. Give me 2 more of those vehicles is 261. 2 more of those vehicles is 285. So 285 is perfect. We can go ahead and essentially do the same thing here. So pin this, manage vehicles, clone all of them. That'll give us what, 193. Give me, I don't know, 5 more of them and see what exactly that does for our numbers. We're looking for about 265 is what we're looking for. So 241. Give me 2 more and that'll give us 260. I'm gonna say give me 1 more. So we're gonna have an excess of coal, but honestly, not the end of the world. So those ratios should be better. I believe it was 131 in the plastic, so we're going to have about 131 goods sitting around-ish, and the rate here is 170. So these guys are going to be running a little bit empty, but not the end of the world. That's assuming everything works out. That's assuming that the numbers stay where they are once traffic kind of gets factored in and all that. We'll see what happens. Not really the end of the world. Not super concerned with things going perfectly right off the bat, so we'll just see what happens. What I will do is go ahead and just upgrade this intersection. I don't necessarily want all of my trucks kind of just sitting and being stuck in traffic. So we'll kind of do this just to give them some turning lanes so they can filter through a little bit easier there. I don't know how well that's necessarily going to work, but we'll see. Whatever the case, we now find ourselves in a situation where we should be producing goods and delivering them to Blackburn. We absolutely are. And we are soon going to be doing the same thing for Ealing. So we have two separate good production chains going on, which is what we're looking for. And so in the hopefully not too distant future, we can go ahead and start spreading that out to the other towns in the area. That's kind of the goal. But what I'm going to do while I'm waiting is I'm going to get that slag production going, or the brick production going, because we can start bringing bricks down into Ealing as well, and we can take them to Blackburn. So basically we can start providing two of the things that both of these towns want, which is going to cause them to grow even faster. This place is projected for 1,168. It's currently 1,120. And then Blackburn is projected 1,128. It's currently 1,033. So let's bring those numbers up a little bit further. And it's a very, very simple process, because all we need to do, I mean, half of it's already done. We've got the line set up. I think we don't have the line set up. Never mind. So new line, we want to go from here. We want to go to there. And it's going to be very simply road cargo. It's a scairn, and it's going to be slag, I guess, to brick. And then we can just deliver it is what we can do. So let's go ahead and get this guy color coded like so. And then, I mean, in terms of deliveries, if we look at buildings, we look at an unload stop. Honestly, we can use the same truck unload stop right about there if we wanted to, but I think I'm going to be a little particular about what I do here. I want an unload stop there. I want an unload stop, I want to say there, and I want an unload stop there. So we're going to have 3 unload stops for the bricks going to Ealing, just so there's a really good spread on them. So we're covering everything. So we're going to go from here, and we are going to go and say 1 and 2 and 3, just like so. So the trucks can come in, drop everything off, and then head back out. So this is road cargo. It's technically Ealing is what we'll go for, and it is brick delivery. So that's that all sorted out. We'll get it color coded. That's not the color I wanted. We'll get it color coded, and then we'll get some vehicles on that shortly, because I do want to do the same thing for I suppose Blackburn as well. So let's take a bit of a look, and it's only a little cluster in Blackburn, so that's going to be a little bit easier. So new line, we are going to go from all the way up here. We are going to go all the way down to here, and that is a hell of a road that they're going to, I got to get a little road sort of across the water there, but we'll go ahead and call that road cargo. It is Blackburn, and it is brick delivery. So again, we're providing things that the towns want. So color-wise is that one right there. And we'll figure out the new road in just a second. What I want to do is immediately go in here. I think I've also used the wrong shade of blue. Interesting. I'm not going to worry too much about that. So brick delivery. What we can do is just use the side stake trucks. We'll get, honestly, 10 of them is probably enough. And bricks will go for that nice strong red right about there. So let's go ahead to Blackburn brick delivery. We'll get the vehicles on that. And then the same with Ealing over here as well. We'll go ahead and get 10 vehicles. Might be too much for this. We'll go for 5 this time around. The same strong red color. And we are looking for Ealing brick delivery, which is this guy here. So that's all sorted. The only thing left to do really is start moving some slag up to the construction plant, which is going to be the tipper trucks. So give me, honestly, 10 of those is probably way too much, but we'll give it a shot anyway. And we'll go ahead and get them in this color because it's horrible looking. And what exactly was that? Was that Askern? It was. All right, so that's everything moving around there. which is very exciting. Let me have a look at my rates. So steel is 160. Slag is currently 191. Let me manage those vehicles. Let me sell one. We'll bring that number down a little bit so we're not going too crazy with it. So 153. It's probably still a bit much, but we'll see what happens. So we'll let that all go and do its thing. That's perfectly fine. We actually have an excess of iron already. We're going to have to rebalance some things here, but that's okay. This guy is more or less set up to do what I want it to do. They've all got different terminals as well, which is perfectly fine. So basically, we are now set up to start moving all these different things into the different towns. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and get myself a tunnel. So a nice large country road. I want it to go from here to about there, and that should be just fine. And then what I can do is a nice medium country road, just sort of off of here, going like that. And we'll go a little something something like that. So a nice large country road through there. I don't really think there was any need for me to make it a 4-lane road, but here we are, I suppose. That's something I've decided that I wanted to do. It's not the end of the world. It's perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and connect these guys together as well, so that traffic can sort of come down from there and get onto that road. And I think I'm going to do the same thing here as well. So just bring this guy sort of up and around a little bit, so that this road has a little bit more purpose to it. And I guess what I can also do is upgrade this section so it kind of makes sense, and upgrade that section so it kind of makes sense. And that gives us a nice connection between Blackburn and Ealing. You don't have to go down this way anymore, which means, yep, that blue line is going back and forth in a way that's a lot better than it was before. And so just like that, Ealing has been shipped some goods. It's kind of exciting. We've managed to get 3 of the 41 demanded boxes of goods in here. We have some bricks on the way as well. So all in all, this place should be about to start exploding a little bit in terms of its popularity and population. When it comes to Blackburn, it's actually managing to get all of the goods that it wants. It's not getting any construction material though, which is a little bit unfortunate. We do have a lot of construction material here, and it is finally starting to get stacked up for Blackburn. It just wasn't for a little while there. But fortunately it is, and this new road is proving to be kind of useful for getting some things down to Blackburn as well. So all in all, I'm kind of pleased with how this is going. I'm kind of pleased with this little development right here. I'm sort of hoping that we can get goods production to start shooting through the roof a little bit, so that we can start shipping it to all of these different towns. I'm thinking we can maybe, hopefully, do the same thing with bricks as well, and start moving them down to Morton in Marsh and Shildon as well. And I suppose over to Erith and to, I think Whitehaven might be getting them already. It is. But over to Penrith at the very least, which honestly, that I feel might end up being a train job. So we might need to expand these stations with some cargo lines. I'm not really too sure, because we are getting to the point where vehicles are relatively quick, and because they have higher cargo capacities, we don't need as many of them either. So it's 50-50. I'm 50-50 on whether or not I want to go that way with things. I guess we'll see what happens. Also, this right here is hilarious. That's a disaster. That's a disaster as well. I'm kind of wondering if I could just expand these platforms and just have more vehicles come in at a time. I don't know if this is a good idea or if this is a bad idea, but I'm curious. I'm curious to see what we can do. So manage the line and basically go to any of those platforms, and we'll just see what they do. I don't know if that's going to be any better for us. I really don't. It might just make things worse, but we'll see. They can come in and filter through a little bit, and then they have to filter down here as well. And then I guess similar story up this way. We'll go ahead and say, you know, give me 1, 2, 3 more platforms. We'll make them a little bit bigger. Honestly, I should probably make the platforms longer. That would help as well, but I'm doing it this way because I'm awkward like that. So we'll go ahead and get them on platform 2. Oh, it's auto-saving again. Of course it is. It takes longer and longer to auto-save, man. It always takes longer and longer. I mean, there's more things in the game every time, but it's, yeah, it always takes a bit of a minute. Anyway, hopefully that will help these guys filter through a little bit quicker. I don't really know if it's going to help all that much. It might just make traffic down here worse, but honestly, things are filtering through here pretty quickly. So I'm hoping for some good things. I'm definitely hoping for some good things. It looks like traffic's filtering out a little bit there. And I mean, there's just generally traffic on this road, which is a bit of a problem. I also can't upgrade it, so we'll go ahead and do this just so that road's a little bit faster. And I guess we'll do the same thing here as well. We'll just sort of upgrade this guy the entire way along so it's a little bit faster too. And then here, I think it needs a bunch of lanes. I don't really remember what the exact math is that I went for here, but we'll go ahead and get a bunch of lanes in there anyway. And I guess we can sort of do the same thing down to about there and over to about there. Again, I don't know if that math is entirely correct, but it's not really the end of the world anyway, so it's whatever. Give me a little, I want to say highway ramp right about there. I think I can maybe do like 2 lanes on that. Does it look silly with 2 lanes? It kind of does. Give me the highway ramp. So just the little dirt trail out like that. And this guy is going to need to be flipped around. Did that upgrade work? It did. So flip you around, flip you around, flip you around. Oh man, is that working? I think that's working now. Yep. So that works perfectly. This guy needs to sort of go that way. This guy needs to go that way. And so all of that should be working. It gives us faster traffic. It gives us more direct traffic. So that's hopefully going to be an upgrade. That's hopefully going to be better for us. At least this isn't tailed back anymore, so that's good. I think this plan has absolutely worked. So this guy is hopefully going to get maxed out again. Hopefully the production here. Wait, are we even? Where are we shipping this to? That's Steel to Tools. It's Midhurst. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. Also, this little expansion to Midhurst's kind of cool. I'm hoping we see that continue. Population is due to fall here. I don't love that. We might need to look into getting more food into Midhurst. We might just want to do that across the board. Let's have a quick look over towards Norton and see how things are going. So we do have a lot of booze sitting around. We actually have a lot of food waiting to go into Norton right there. So let me manage these vehicles. Let me just replace these guys with the tarpaulin trucks. And that's going to be, if anything, slower? Question mark? So you guys have a capacity of 11. You guys have a capacity of 12. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Well, duplicate all of those. Give me 10 of them instead. And that'll help us out a little bit. We do have a lot of food just sort of sitting around. So we'll get that, distributed around Norton, which is projected to end up with a population over 3,000. So even though other towns are not doing so well, Norton is growing massively, which is what I want to see. And then Whitworth is not growing as quickly. Definitely needs some food, but it does look cool. It does look cool. It has like this suburb thing going on. I really like how this game generates cities. It's really, really cool. It really is. Middlewich is looking pretty good too. It's looking pretty neat with all the suburbs as well. Whitehaven in particular with the train line going straight through the mill. I love how this looks. It's a really cool look. All right. I'm kind of here for it, man. I'm definitely kind of here for it. I think the other thing we need to maybe take a look at is just balancing some of these passenger lines, because it does seem like there's a lot of people wanting to get on this this particular line. So let's manage the vehicles. Let me put another one on there. That'll give us a capacity of 1,000. Honestly, give me another one. Let's go a little bit. Let's do another one. Let's just go kind of crazy with it. Bring the frequency down to 4 minutes. The cargo is 1,400. It should be fine. I'm pretty sure we can manage to get away with that, and that's hopefully going to get people moving up and down just that little bit quicker. And then I suppose in terms of getting people, how are we looking here? Projected 1,500. That's perfect. We got a lot of bricks coming in here, a lot of goods coming in here. When it comes to Blackburn, we've got some bricks, we got some goods, projected 1,300. So I think this has worked. I think this little change and this little chain of production in and around Ealing is good. We don't have a lot of goods in storage, which I don't love, but I'm sure we can probably fix that a little bit if we can get this guy upgraded with the shipment here. So basically we need more stuff to, I guess, come in here, which we can figure out. So if we can upgrade that, that would be good. If we can upgrade this guy as well, that would be good. And if we can upgrade this guy down here as well, that would also be good, because then what we can do is start piling all of the goods into, you know, a train station or a truck stop or something like that, and then start shipping them out to Swanley, over to Erith, over to Penrith, and so on. So that's sort of the plan. That's sort of the goal with all of this. But as promised, the next episode is going to be, I'm not going to say it's going to be tedious, because that would be terrible. Hey, the next video is going to be super tedious. I'm not saying it's going to be tedious, but I did promise that the next episode was going to be one where we go around and do some rebalancing. So at the very least, the main goal of the next episode is going to be to go and see if we can figure out, you know, balancing just across the board. So can we get this to be a little bit more optimized? Can we get this to be a little bit more optimized? Can we maybe not have this many bricks just sitting around? Because there's a ridiculous number of bricks sitting around here. What we could probably do, admittedly, with this guy, is we could probably make some changes to these trains. So what I'm thinking is, so capacity of 165 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the tank cars at the end. So what if we were to, it's 120 plus 5 tank cars. Okay. What if we were to replace train 2 completely with a nice class A4 in maybe a different color? Let's go for a nice strong red right there. So nice class A4. And then we need the cars with side, I guess with the side stakes is what we're looking for. And this is for bricks. So let's get this guy to be a little bit of a different color. We'll go 1, 2, 3. Are these the same cars? I think they are. Interesting. So I'm not actually upgrading the wagons at the minute. I'm just upgrading the train itself. And then the tank cars for fuel. So let's do this in like a dark kind of purpley color. That looks ridiculous. Let's not do that. Let's also get my my flat car in here. I don't remember what color it was supposed to be. I think it was that. I don't for the life of me remember, but it'll do. This guy, I suppose, I guess we'll go for like this. We'll just do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those should be fine. We can probably put more, we should put more on here. So let's do some flat cars again. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, maybe 5 of them. 294 is pretty long. I don't know if the station is going to be big enough for that, but we'll modify it anyway. And what I'm going to do is sell these other trains. I'm going to duplicate this guy, and I'm going to duplicate again. And that gives us a higher capacity at the very least. And honestly, give me 2 more of them. It might be way too much. It might be kind of crazy. It might be a terrible idea, but I'm willing to give it a shot. We have so many bricks just sitting around up here. We might as well throw some trains at the problem and see what exactly it does. I'm not expecting miracles. I'm definitely not expecting miracles. And I'm also suspecting that there is a solid chance that this train is going to be a little bit too long, but we'll see. It might actually end up sticking out of this station. I'm a little bit concerned about this. I'm a little concerned. So the train pulls in, and it might just be short enough. I think I've just about got away with this. There's a solid chance. Did I get away with it? I think I did. Oh my God. Wow. Okay. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. Let's upgrade this guy as well. Manage the vehicles, repair them. Capacity of 80. It's whatever. We'll go ahead and do this. We'll go ahead and get rid of that train. We'll go to Steam. We'll go to this. We'll go and say, give me a different color for this one. Let's do, I mean, it's brick delivery, so it's whatever. Give me, I don't know, give me an orange this time. We'll go for an orange class A4. And then for the cargo, I mean, similar story, flat car with side stakes. Give me the darker kind of brown, and we'll go for a capacity of, can I get like 120. So we'll do that and then just do sort of the same thing again. So steam, class A4, bright orange, and then cargo, that sort of brown color. And I guess 120 for the capacity on this guy as well. So right about there, 25 million, no big deal. I mean, it is a big deal, but it's no big deal. At the very least, it's a higher capacity, it's a faster train, it's potentially a more powerful train, so it might work out really nicely in my favor at some point. For the time being, we'll just sort of watch this, we'll see what happens, we'll see if this was a good idea, we'll see if it was a bad idea. I'm just keen to see how things go. I'm also really enjoying the fact that I can go around and spend hundreds of millions of dollars and generally still be okay. It's a nice feeling. It's a very nice feeling, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, speaking of nice feelings, that's gonna do us for today. I don't know if that's a nice feeling or not, but that is gonna do us for today. I've just about done what I wanted to get done today. I think the next step very much has to be to go and micromanage and sort of balance all of these new lines and the old lines as well, just to make them a little bit more efficient, just to make sure that we're getting as much money as we possibly can from everything. Because as it stands right now, if we look at line statistics, we can go ahead and expand this guy, and we're losing 5 million on this guy. We're losing 6 million on this guy. Basically, admittedly, it's some of the lines that I've just redone, the trains I've just redone, they're losing some money. It's not amazing. Bingham to Rochester air passengers is not doing amazingly anymore either. So we can probably do some things to figure this out. There's definitely some rebalancing to do. On the flip side, 6 million, 3 million, 3 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, yeah, and so on and so on. So basically, despite the fact that we are losing a lot of money, we're also making a lot of money, which is what I want to be doing. So I can't really complain too much. We can make it better. We can get more money, and that is absolutely the goal. But like I said, that's going to be for tomorrow's episode. That's going to be for the next episode if you don't watch it tomorrow. Either way, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure as always. And as always, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.